Talk about bad timing. I have here the Amazon Blue Driver compression test kit. So I wanted to check the compression on this engine again, and I couldn't find the compression tester, so I went ahead and ordered this thing here. It looks like a quick disconnect here, and I imagine that goes here, so I have to put that together, put the gauge on there, and on the other end that might even thread right into the head, or you might need one of these adapters. So I got this put together, and it's indeed a quick disconnect, and it takes a strong man to put that together. Had to put quite a bit of force on it to snap it together, but I guess that's good. This end here might fit right in. I'm gonna start pulling spark plugs and go from there. Well, I got her in there, and I checked the threads on the old spark plug, and it's the same threads, so I didn't actually use any of these, but I think this is the extension if you need the extension. I think that's the one there. So I've been trying to add fuel to my tune because my spark plugs are reading lean. They look white. I don't know, I can't make a whole lot of sense of that, but anyway, so I don't think there's any compression issues, but I'm gonna go over it anyway since I have it here now. I don't want it to start when I hit the key. I'm gonna crank it over about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 revolutions. And I don't want the vehicle to start, so I'm just gonna pull, I don't know, you could probably pull the fuel pump relay, but I can also pull one main wire that shuts off the fuel pump and the coil packs as well. Okay, so I've removed the power from the engine computer, so it's not going to fire, but I still have power going into my ignition switch, and I still have power going out to the solenoid, so it should still turn over. I'm going to go for about 5 revolutions, I don't know. And then I'll check my compression. 175 psi, and I only turned it 5 revolutions, I think. So that's good. I'm looking for like more than 130 psi on all the cylinders. But yeah, so far so good. These are the 862 heads, so they're supposed to make a little bit more compression. Okay, I'm on cylinder number, what cylinder would this be? 4? Cylinder number 4. So I'm doing the second one back now, and I've got 175 again. That's good. So I want consistency as well as compression and consistency. And if I keep cranking it, like that's only 5 revolutions, so if I keep cranking it, it would probably go even higher than that. Let's try that just for the fun of it. I know some people, they hold their starter down all day when they're doing a compression test, but I don't believe the engine only goes 2 strokes before it loses compression on the exhaust valve. Well, she went up a little bit. I cranked her over about 3 more revolutions, and it went up a little bit higher than, probably closer to 180, I guess, there now. But anyway, things are pretty consistent and looking good so far. All the spark plugs are looking kind of lean to me. Alright, we just did cylinder number 6, and we got 175 again, looking good. consistency and compression. I'll bleed it off here. And it drops down to 0. And I'll just unscrew this pretty much by hand. There's a rubber seal in there, so it might be a little tight down there. And then I'll move on to the next one. I'm putting all the spark plugs back in, putting them all back in, so I do have compression on all 8. All the spark plugs are in except for the one I'm testing. And I'm just moving on down the line. So this is the number 6, the end electrode. They all seem white, like powdery white. So I think they're all running lean. $175. Very consistent anyway. Consistency is there. $175 again. And we're getting consistency in the white. All the spark plugs are white looking, lean looking. $175, really consistent. A pretty crazy thunderstorm, and I lost my keys in my car. Talk about bad timing. I got the front drive shaft out of the Ford Ranger here, and it was going squeaker, 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 squeaker every time in 4-wheel drive. But anyway, the front joint, U-joint here, was dried up so bad it would turn one direction, but it wouldn't turn the other direction at all. So I put it in the ball joint press, and I knocked the clips out. I pressed it through one direction, that's as far as it'll go, and the whole thing is loose, but this cap won't come off. These caps are seized like almost solid, but it's pretty bad. So I figured the only way for me to get that cap off, I tried putting the vice grips on there and the whole cross turns, but it won't come off the cross. So I'm gonna heat it up with the torch, or I might actually cut the U-joint in half, and this half will just fall out now because it's through, it's out and through. And gonna get this U-joint out and put a new one in. Okay, she's a little bit hot there, I think, but I decided to cut the U-joint, so I think now I can press it back the opposite direction, which you would have to do anyway. Or I can heat up this cap again, but I'll probably save the fuel and just press it through. Well, it seems like we're off to a good start here. I just took the caps off and slid her in, and then put one cap on and pressed it through a little bit. So then I put the second cap on. Now I'm almost ready for the clips here, and it feels good. It's not bound up or anything, but I still have to put the clips on yet. So I think this one will go in. Sometimes you can take needle nose pliers and compress these clips a little bit, or there we go. Wow. Sometimes you can put them in with a screwdriver. I usually knock them out with a screwdriver, but anyway, make sure your groove's clean, make sure it's in there good. So you can double check it and make sure it's in there good. And then I'll flip it over and make sure it's bottomed out before I put the other clip in. I got both the clips in, and there's good movement there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her back in. Well, she's threatening to rain, and my dad asked me, do you got your wiper motor on yet? So the wiper motor typically goes there, and I just put a new Corvette fuel filter, which is also a fuel regulator right there on the back of the fuel rail. This is the Firebird wiper motor. It's really massive, it's huge, and really bulky. It has really simple flat terminal connectors on it. I think these two here are for the washer pump, so it has the washer fluid pump built in to it. So that's the Firebird wiper motor, and this is a Chrysler wiper motor. It's the same, only different.